Sound production. Good evening, gentlemen. This is Sir Yeetus, and this is episode 56 of Yeetus's Thoughts. This is a topic that will be very interesting to speak on because a lot of men they're confused on how modern women have so much animosity, so much dislike towards men in today's society. Because no matter how much they want to LARP as men, saying that they want to uh, be independent. They want to be empowered. They don't need a man. Man is obsolete, etc., etc. Nature wins in the end. And what does nature say? Modern women cannot, or women in general, cannot survive on their own. They need men to survive. And I'm speaking in general terms. Of course, there's exception to the rules, but the rules in general is women cannot survive without a man. Men only need women for reproduction. They don't need women for survival. Vice versa, a woman needs a man for reproduction and survival. And that's why they hate us so much. We are going to elaborate that in a bit, but right now, I'm going to invite the one, the only, Rishi.
Yo, what's up, boys?
Rishi is in the house. What's going on, man?
It's going good, man.
Going great?
Yep.
See, look, this chick right here. Your title is correct, 100%. Exactly. Women in general, they don't like men only because they know that in the end, they have to rely on men to survive in the first place. The first world country would not exist if it wasn't because of the motivation and the reward that men will have for building such society. But since society has become so comfortable, so relaxed, modern women really have that mentality stating that men are not needed anymore. Men are obsolete. Men are trash. Men are ew. Men are this. Men are that. But when disaster strikes, when it comes to natural disasters, catastrophes, war, famine, sickness, who do they all look towards? Men. Am I wrong, Rishi?
Yep. 100%.
Wait, you said I was wrong 100%?
No, you're not wrong, bro.
Oh, I was about to say, I thought you said, like, yep, 100%. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, you're wrong. Women are queens.
Rishi, no.
I'd have seen through the lies of the Warband.
You took the blue pill, didn't you?
Don't make me kill you. If you're not with me, then you're my enemy.
Only simps deal with absolutes.
You will try.
Oh,
But
shit.
yeah, you're like, bro, you're right, bro. It's like they can't. I don't know. It's like they have been coddled, you know. Like there are instances where women do step up, and those instances are rare and few between. Typically, when shit goes wrong, they come running to the men. Yeah.
But it's like, yo, how you gonna be running to the men? Yet all these years you're the exact same person that was talking shit to the men. Like, no. Like, you think men are just gonna forget? Hell no.
Exactly.
So what I'm trying to say is, gentlemen, is that women, they need us to survive, okay? We're gonna go not just 100 years in the past. We're gonna go thousands of years in the past. You really think if a woman was dropped in the middle of the forest that she has the power to manipulate the environment into her favor? Do you really think that she has the strength to do that? No, not at all. And once again, I'm speaking in general. Of course, there's an exception to every rule, but the exception does not make rules for the majority. You guys need to keep that in mind. If you jump a woman in the middle of the desert or the middle of the forest or whatever it is, 9 times out of 10, she's gonna die. Like that, I don't need no scientific proof or nothing. Okay, they won't know what type of knowledge they need. They won't know what type of tools that they need to use. They won't know what to avoid or what not to avoid while in that dangerous environment. They'll literally just be a walking target. Why do you think that when it comes to the dynamics of men and women today, even though women are saying, "Oh, men ain't shit, men are gross," why do you think they keep following us in the manosphere? I thought they didn't need us. Why do they keep following us? Why do they keep following the MGTOW, Red Pill, wherever it is? Why do you think modern women keep following us? Because they know for a fact they can't survive on their own.
They know it deep
Even in,
down.
I would say,
They know it deep down in their little psyches that they know that they cannot survive in the natural world.
the harsh realities of the world. Okay, why do you think, even though they're so strong and independent, they always get offended when you ask about their age, or you ask about their weight, when you ask about their body counts? Because they know that when push comes to shove, that's the only thing that'll be able to keep them secured, depending on what man that they mess with. Their past being a secret, their age being a secret, their weight being a secret, will have a lot greater chance of being secured with a man. Do you really think modern women out here are willing to be completely honest about their past? And you already know, men, they worry a lot about a woman's past because they don't want to walk down the street. There's 10 different men saying, "Oh, bro, oh, you dating that, bro? Hey, man, hey, you better watch your girl. She's tying it up." Hell no. And I could go and elaborate on how women do need men to literally survive, but Think Before You Sleep and a few other channels, they elaborated it pretty well. But I'm just gonna give you a summary. Okay, when men get together, they have a hierarchy. Okay, men, we have a hierarchy. We know immediately who is top dog and who is just average and who is below average. Men know instantly on who, on what portion of the hierarchy that they belong in. And then we just get started and working when it comes to survival. Okay. We all gonna have that one big dog as a group of men. Okay. Who us men, we deem that he's a leader. Okay. Because believe me, that's a lot harder to be democratic with a bunch of men compared to women. Because women, they operate in a hive mind mentality. They're way easier to manipulate. But when it comes to men, if men knows that, okay, this guy, he's big, he's strong, he knows his equipment, he knows this and that. All right, he's the leader of the group. And as the leader of the group, you gotta make sure that all the tasks of the day is confirmed when it comes to survival. All right. Hunting for food, catching fish, building shelters. Men can get into those roles immediately, and eventually it will go very smooth, a very smooth wheel, and then everything will start to work within a couple weeks max. Do you really think a group of women can do the same? What about you, Rishi? Do you really think a woman is able to have a hierarchy? Because in my knowledge, not too many women have a hierarchy in their circle in the first place. Not once I've heard of a hierarchy.
Hmm. A hierarchy. Well,
Because in my knowledge, women they do things the democratic way. They go with the most votes among the female group
I mean, I suppose so.
because of the hive mind mentality. They're not. Do you really think a woman? Do you think women, a group of women, are going to have some type of hierarchy? Like just them by themselves?
Hmm.
No. Hell
Well,
no.
they don't have any clear leadership or
Exactly.
individuality because you've seen those videos where they're like, I think it was like one video where they had like the jumper cables or something hooked up to each other's car while they were running it or something like that.
Yeah.
Did you see that video?
Pretty sure I did. Yeah. Pretty sure.
Yeah, and like the jumper cables like started like the rubber on them started like burning off or something like that.
Right.
And like these guys were trying to tell them that they were wrong, but they like the whole group was like refuting these two guys, telling them that they're gonna like do mess their cars up if they do that.
I'm not even surprised about their behavior. But I agree with electrodynamic orb. Women in general, they're too catty for a hierarchy. Why do you think Al Bundy, he said in his show, women understand women and they hate each other? Do you really think that a whole group of women are able to accomplish something more than a group of men? No, no. Because men, we know that we have this inherent duty, knowing that if men are fucking around like women, if men don't do their job, if men are slacking on their responsibilities, everybody loses. Men and women lose. That's why the other quote with Don Vito Corleone, I can't even say his name right, Corleone. He said, men and women are allowed to be careless, but not men. There's a reason why that quote is very popular to this day because it's true. Men cannot afford to be clumsy. Men literally have to think steps ahead in order to live well or survival. But this is the biggest thing that I have an issue with when it comes to modern women and their envy of us because they know that they have no choice but to rely on us. No choice. Even when in today's society they claim they're strong and independent, they don't need a man. They just still, till this day, they go up to men, proposing to men. They expect men to still have those same standards because, once again, they know that deep down they can't keep up with a male's responsibility. They still pull up an illusion saying that men, whether we are in charge or not, you're still in charge of the financial duties. Yeah, I know I'm strong and independent, but you as a man, you're still responsible. What do you have to say about that, Rishi?
Hmm.
Because no matter how much they want to claim that they're strong and independent, they still expect men to do their job just so that they can still pretend to be strong and independent.
Well, I suppose the best way to say it is that they're living in like a delusion. They're living in, a fantasy. And at any time it can come crashing down. But when men, rescue them, they don't see the error of their ways. They just go right back to sleep. I mean, I think it was even in the Think Before You Sleep video. It wasn't the whole group. It was just on that one chick. She was basically a burden on the entire group, not doing her job, even when she said she was a survivalist and all this shit. And when she was threatened to get kicked out of the group, she started actually helping. But right as they got done and they got back to civilization, she was coping hard.
See, that's a big thing, gentlemen. And it kind of affects us today, but it was a real thing hundreds of years ago, not even thousands. When a woman is ostracized, when a woman is kicked out of the tribe, that's pretty much a death sentence. Because you honestly think that she's able to manipulate the environment like a man? As some bad reputation was bestowed upon her, and men don't want her either. And she's kicked out of the tribe or the community. She literally has no choice but to give up the puniti for a half-eaten sandwich. Look at Venezuela. Venezuela is a perfect example. Okay? How all these quote-unquote bad bitches are flooding the corners in other countries. They're not willing to give it up for food, for water. So much for being strong and independent, am I right?
Yep.
All right, I'm sending in the StreamYard chat right now in the comments. We're going to elaborate on this very soon. Bro, after the stream, Rishi, I'm about to max on some Japanese ramen. It's going to be delicious. It's authentic, too.
Hell yeah. I
need to get some hot sauce.
I got some eggs with me right here. Been eating.
Why are you eating eggs for dinner?
Because it's good for you, bro. You heard Gaston.
That's too much protein.
You gotta eat 5 dozen eggs to help every day to get large. And then, what was it after? It was 12 dozen eggs. Man, I got a long way to go.
But before I start adding these call-ins, if you want to support the Warband or my channel, donate to the link that I pinned on top of the chat. And donate to paypal.me/Yeetus. All the money will be going towards helping the Warband. Thank you for anybody that donates. Very nice. All right. Gray, what's going on?
That's 204 eggs a day, Rishi. Come on, you could do that.
I can. I just got to train to get there.
I'll die from protein overload. What's going on, Constantine?
What's up, Yeetus?
All right, what else? Somebody. That fish got nukes.
Hello, Yeetus.
What is going on, man? That fish got nukes.
Hello.
I'm here.
Oh, hang on. Let me turn down my volume here.
Hey, Rishi, you eating good with all those eggs over there. Jesus Christ.
Yep.
There we go.
But,
what's up, Yeetus? I wanted to know if you are a radioactive skeleton or your flesh is invisible.
I'm just a skeleton.
Just a skeleton, man? Okay.
Yeah, that's it. But we're going to start with Gray. Gray.
Yo.
How do you feel about the topic I'm talking about today on how women, they hate us because they need us?
Well, actually, I'd even go a step further with an angle on it.
That's your calf rage.
It's better than the last one. But, okay, quite frankly, I can understand the jealousy. Like, penis envy is real, but think about it. Like, we are beyond power. We're basically superhuman compared to them. Like, by every metric.
Right.
Right. And the idea that no matter how hard they train, how hard they work, like they will at best be able to beat the average man.
But it always balances out, though, because women, they're born with value. Men, we have to create it. We have to work for it. So it balances out in the end where a woman is valued just for existing, right? Depending on her age and her virginity. and fertileness. A man, depending on where he's at, he may have to work for years, probably even decades, to
Well,
get enough value in himself to get attention from other women.
but think about it this way: a woman's value is only valuable to men. A man's value is valuable to both men and women.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'd completely
but
agree
what do
with that.
you? Wait. So, which I do agree, men do have more value in the end, long term, but it still reinforces my statement of women being born with value. That's why they live life on tutorial mode when they're younger, when they're in their 18, 19, 20, because they're pursued by a lot of men, especially men with value. But of course, the backdraw of being valued for who you are is when the wall hits at the speed of light, she ain't gonna have that same attention anymore. And
Well,
it's just gonna get worse and worse. But
but
when
it's
it
the
comes to a
post-wall
man,
ones. I
oh,
think the post-wall ones are the ones who really actively hate men.
yeah, I'm gonna put this out right quick. And when it comes to a man's wall is only when he's broke. In my opinion, when he's broke or has no value in his life, that's his wall. A man can easily bounce back for the rest of his life. Hell, even if it's 70s and 80s. There's some woman out there that's gonna uh try to get with him, of course not for who he is, but what he can provide. That's a man's wall, in my opinion. It can't be broken. A man's wall is temporary. A woman's wall is forever when she reaches that age. What do you have to say about that, Constantine?
Yes, sir.
Did you hear what I had to say?
What's that?
Did you hear what I had to say?
What was that? I didn't
God
quite
damn
catch
it,
it.
Constantine. Oh, just wait right there. Rishi, did you hear?
No,
Gray, did you hear?
I don't
Yeah,
think
I heard.
anyone heard anything.
I
heard.
didn't realize we were talking about the wall. I thought we were just like talking
Yeah,
about
I was literally just talking. I said wall like 10 times.
Yeah. No,
I didn't realize we were talking about the wall. What the fuck?
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Anyway.
That's the thing. I wouldn't use the wall as a metaphor for the male status of low value, personally. But in general, I see where you're coming from.
Well, I hope you do, because I don't really see how a man could ever hit the wall as long as he's able to create something of value.
Well, but that's the thing. As long as he's able to create something of value,
Right, because like I said before, a man's wall is temporary. A woman's wall is forever.
you
When
can
she
break
hits a certain age.
you can break a man's body and mind to the point where he's useless. It's not impossible.
Well, yeah, but when I'm talking about the majority of men, when they hit a certain hard part in their life, that's just a temporary wall. Temporary.
Yeah.
It's never permanent, in my opinion. As long as a man is able to get back up and do something that's of value, he will never have a wall. But a woman's wall it's definite. When she hits that age, it's game over.
That's the thing. That's why I wouldn't use wall as a metaphor. I'd probably go more with hole, because a man can get himself out of a hole, but you can't get past a wall, metaphorically.
Well, a man can break down a wall,
This is true.
Yeah,
This
but
is true.
like with tools.
but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I would just have to put those two things out the way. I know we sidetracked a bit, but that's what I really have to say. A man does not have a wall like a woman, all right? And whoever says that, they're fucking stupid. Okay? A man is valued way different than a woman. Once you understand that, the lot easier shit will be. But of course, a woman, the average woman will never acknowledge that there's a wall coming in until it's too late, ever. But when it comes to women, they hate us because they need us, which does involve the wall as well. Is once they hit that certain age, let's say early 30s, their biological clock is screeching like a motherfucker, like, oh, it's almost time. It's almost time. You better get a baby right now. You better hurry up. And then if they refuse, they get older and older. And then they hit, let's say, in their 40s. The man that the men that they want will not want her. Especially when she hit her 40s.
They
You
get
know.
tricked into thinking it lasts forever. That's how it goes.
Exactly. And what's the one thing that couple things that women value the most? Protection, security, resources. Best possible mate, genetics, all that stuff. She's looking for the best possible mate. And then when she has this gynocentric feminist ideology in her head and thinking that she can do whatever the fuck she wants and there is no negative consequences to her actions. But once she hits her 40s, now she wants to settle down, and then she acts all shocked when all the men that she wants to settle down with don't want to settle down with the old hag like her. It's just something that you guys need to think about, okay? Because best believe there will be an influx amount of women within the next 10 to 15 years of being single, crying about bitching and moaning. Hell, I won't be surprised if they pass a law having men like mandatory marrying them and shit.
Oh man.
Well,
But-
and beyond that, like it's not just men that value the young ones. The older women value the young ones more because they have more pull with the men. Like you're going to get the feminist agenda across a lot further if you have a young, pretty woman at the face of it rather than a 50-year-old.
So are you saying agenda or just dating?
No, I'm saying agenda. Like if you need a messenger for the feminist ideology,
Okay.
you want
agenda.
the youngest, prettiest woman at the face of it.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. The blind leading the blind. I always believe that the sisterhood is pretty much a bigger version of the crabs in the bucket. Okay, because when a woman, once again, when she hits that certain age, she will, early 40s, let's say early 40s, she will put on that facade that her life is great, is glorious. You don't need a man, you don't need this, you don't need the blah, 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 blah. Literally giving out ridiculous advice so she can save face and leading these young women astray.
But it's also the element of the tribe. If an old woman who's lost her value is the only old woman who's lost value, well, she doesn't have any more social pull and she's basically ostracized. But if the majority of the tribe is old women who've effectively lost their value, then they have that collective power.
That's it. Okay, I see what you're saying. Constantine, do you have anything to say about that?
In terms of them hitting the wall and everything. Well, I would definitely say that I've seen firsthand, at least on dating apps. I know many of us have, regarding all these women out here on the dating apps. They get older and then they wonder why the dating options are so quote unquote trash and they don't have any options. But it really does make. I would agree with you, Yeetus, regarding the whole statement that men really don't have the wall in the same way, if at all, that women have. Because as women get older, they're not going to be as attractive to men when it comes to looking for somebody to have a family with, or even just somebody to have a relationship with that may not even involve marriage or a family.
A man's wall, in my opinion, is always temporary.
Yep. You're always in a tight spot, and then if you're able to get another job or something like that, and get another source of income, and get yourself out of it. I've definitely heard of stories where a girl leaves a man because he's kind of in a tight spot like that, but then eventually he's able to get through it, and there's light at the other end of that tunnel, and everything's fine at the end of the day. So I
Okay.
would agree with you on that.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely. Oh, what else you got to say?
um, hmm. Well, as far as it goes with women that hate us because they're not us, I think a big
Uh,
part of it is
it's
simply,
because they need us.
or need us, that too. Um, I would say a big part of it is because of modern feminism, basically teaching them to just have a disdain for men in general at large, and and then when they get older, they realize that feminism to a certain degree lied to them about it, and they realize how much they in some cases do need a man. You need a man to have kids. Of course you could go get a sperm donor or go to a sperm bank or something like that, but you're still having to rely on men to donate the sperm. You have everything that's necessary to have children except for one thing, and that's the sperm. You got to rely on men in order to get that. And then also, in order to help raise well adjusted kids, you need to have a good man in the household helping you raise those children, helping you discipline those children properly. And and also somebody that's able to go work, and it's not as stressful for them to work because that's what they were made for. They were made, uh, they're mentally wired to be able to handle the stress a lot better than a lot of the women out there. I think I was watching a Manosphere Highlights Daily video today, and they were talking about just how many women these days are on head meds because they're trying to just be men. Like millennial women and millennials in general, and even Gen Z, are like record high levels of mental illnesses and stuff like that. So I definitely think that part of the reason why they have an issue with men, they hate men because they need us, is because of feminism, just teaching them to not like men, and just to, in some cases, have a seething hatred for men. I can't really, I, hmm, other than that, I can't really think of much else.
Okay. The fish got nukes.
I would just kind of say that romantic entanglements in today's age have just kind of been cheapened to a high degree where it seems to be um, the women are looking for money and the men are looking for pussy, and that's about it, right? So there's not much to say, I guess.
But modern women, they want to have that one-sided deal, where they can
Right, yeah, with
take
the
your
laws and
money
everything. Yeah,
without giving it up.
you add government to the mix, it just kind of,
It's
boggles
just
the mind.
it's a, it's a
I
very
agree.
one-sided transaction.
Now, of course, that transaction's reversed for Chad because Chad doesn't need to spend a cent in order to get it.
Nope. He's the friends with benefits guy, where he takes the advantage of multiple women, because friends with benefits, a man can have all the sex that he wants, and he doesn't have to commit. But of course, women will eventually develop feelings for this man, and that's where the heartbreaking comes in, and all the yelling of how men ain't shit. It's a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
Because once again, men are the gatekeepers of relationships. We dictate who we stay committed to. We don't dictate the sex, but we do dictate commitment. And that burns them up to their core.
I think that's definitely another reason why they hate the fact they need us, is because they know that men are the ones that are the provider, and the smart men are aware that just how much they have to invest into a relationship, time, money, all that stuff. And they're not just going to give it up, that stuff, away so easily just to anybody.
Yep. And cesspool, Yeetus, which gender do you trust to pull you from the battlefield? which one that I trust more is a man, a billion percent. Okay, because not once in my career I've seen a woman being able to fireman carry or underarm carry a full grown 200-pound man with full gear, which is an extra 60 to 70 pounds, along with his weapon, out of a battlefield. Okay. And that's the crazy part when it comes to women, they hate us because they need us. Many women these days, today, join the military just for clout, just for free college, just saying how empowered they are. Little that they know that we're very close on having the woman draft. How much you want to bet that she won't go?
I
Did that go
remember.
through or not? I heard a little bit about that.
Yeah. How much you want to bet that she would rather go to jail? I'm talking about women in general.
Probably just get pregnant.
Uh, but on top of that, women that they need us, who else is going to protect them from danger? Does she really think that a bunch of women are just going to be out there to fend off a grizzly bear or I don't know what's out there, a fucking hawk, an eagle? Like, do you really think women want to be out there getting shredded to death? No. But us men, we do it. We do the protection because unfortunately we love idealistically. You know, we have this perception that maybe if I fend off these animals, not for me but for her, maybe she'll appreciate me.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, especially today. She's just gonna give you a scoff and walk away. While you're there, you're bloodied and mangled, having a whole fight with a grizzly bear. Oh shit! But does anybody has anything else to say about this topic before I?
About the topic of the female draft. I will say that I remember back whenever there was all the stuff at the beginning of 2020, I think with Iran, there were a lot of memes that women were making talking about how they didn't want to go. They wanted to suddenly be traditional again. I do remember seeing a lot of those memes on all the social media. A lot of women were joking how they wouldn't go and they would suddenly decide to just hop right back in the kitchen and make the man a nice hot meal. I do remember seeing a lot of those memes, but I do believe there is quite a bit of truth to those memes, even though they may have just been made in jest. There's definitely a little bit of truth to it.
Do we
Okay.
genuinely think that any politician actually would even like publicly mention such a thing? But like not even pass it, but like actually advocate for it. It'd get torn to shreds.
They would get quite.
Like not just by the women, but also by the trad cucks.
Oh yeah, they would get flamed.
But I'm gonna add two people right quick. Carry on. What's going on?
I'm good.
Ratchet, what's up?
What's up? How you guys doing?
We're doing good. First, I'm gonna start with Carry On. Carry On.
Yep.
What do you think about the topic today of women they hate men because they pretty much need us?
Well, I see it as envy. Well, it's definitely is envy, especially as like a say is a teenager. Women are permanently trapped for most of their lives in a state of a teenager, and most teenagers want to become adults as quick as possible. But it's rarely if you're permanently trapped as a teenager and you can't really have the strength of an adult male, you're going to feel envious and so on. And later on, that could go over to many things, or you can accept that you will never be that person and find what you're good at. But it seems like women now are being raised to focus on what they can't do that a man can do, to the point that it's driving them crazy.
Okay, Ratchet, what about you? What do you think about this topic?
Um, well, me personally, like I think women like that do need men. Like I probably like what, like the nines and tens, like that up there, like the IG models, like the women who want to get like the Chad dick, for the money, the bank account. I think those women get mainly madder than like the regular. Like you got some women who focus on like a degree and stuff like that, but like it drives them crazy. Depending from what we're seeing, like they get like the mental health and variations, but like some fields are good in like with people, like I guess like teachers and nurses. But yeah, I would say like to a degree they do hate on men, the ones they need.
Yeah, and instead of, you know, people playing their roles, because men, we always, well, masculine men, we always played our roles in society. Always. But the big issue is how modern women, they believe they can move the ghost pole so freaking all over the place to the point where you don't even know, what are you doing? First you want to be in the kitchen cooking food. Then all of a sudden you want to do a slut walk with, what's her name? Amber Rose.
Right. I would say like a country with no masculine men, or like Afghanistan. No one really likes to like talk about it, but like look what happened like when it fell. You don't see that much men like fighting for their freedom or like their homeland or country. And not too much women were doing that either. But
Yeah, a
like
lot of Afghani soldiers put their weapons down when the Taliban started rolling through.
exactly, and like look who mainly fled the country. Like it was mainly men, like young men, running away from the country. If you look at the pictures from the plane, it's like mainly men in that plane, like young guys.
Really?
Yeah, it's like mainly young men. It's like all young men. You barely see any women or children who like were running away or like in that plane. It was mainly young men, like able-bodied men, fleeing the country.
Yep. You see the
That
huge
makes
crowd of
sense.
them running down the runway.
Well, it kind of makes sense because they're basically either A, going to have to join the Taliban, or B, they're going to die because they are an active threat to the Taliban if you don't join.
Right. But what I'm trying to get at is like you need like masculine men. You need men to like protect your country, protect your pride, your freedom. Like you know what I mean? Like the Dewey Hunter. Like what if the Spartans just fucking like didn't did none of that? Gonna protect like their land, their home country. You
Yeah,
know
that's
what I
good.
mean? Like
Yeah, I definitely do, man. But also when it comes to the topic today, I believe her dragging you through divorce court is her ultimate revenge when it comes to even being put in a marriage.
I'd say just a little worse is turning the kids against you. That might be
Yeah.
just a little worse.
Yeah, I'd say
Yeah,
that one.
the
That is.
divorce, the family
yeah,
courts, the alimony, lose your house, lose your car, lose your dog, your PS5. And I believe it's in her mind, it's like a payback that you have the audacity to try to make her be a wife. Like you have the audacity, even though you put a 10K ring on her finger, that you expected her to be a wife and do wifely duties. So the
That's
divorce and the alimony and all that shit, I believe that's her revenge right back at you.
yeah, that sounds
Definitely
similar to
are.
some ideas that well, I like a lot of reading a lot of fantasy books, and there's like stories where wizards try to tame demons, and they will get these elaborate chains and magic spells to trap them like genies. But when the genies are free, or the demons, or any spiritual creatures that they catch, the first thing that they do is screw over everything that the person that their masters were loved. It would be their children, their wives, their family, and after they'll go to them and just wipe them out, and they'll leave the people alive just so they could suffer and moan. So yeah,
Okay. So what do you have to say about that, Constantine?
About the marriages, I think it's very ironic that a woman. 'Cause a lot of the time, women want to get married. It'd be very ironic to see a woman choose to divorce a man because he married her. Although we know how vindictive a lot of females have become nowadays.
Well, it could be that they want
I-
to get married. It's just that they don't want to be a wife.
Yep.
There's a clear difference.
Oh, that is a good point. That is a good point. Yeah, I would. Hmm.
So, other aspect of society, right? So you know how women they want to walk out at night and not fear for their life,
Yes.
but when they're in danger, they expect a man to come in and save the day, but no man is around, or the man refuses to save her. I'm
Yeah,
sure
like
you guys seen that before.
well,
Or-
that's the thing, like the Philly train incident.
Yeah, I know about that.
Like they expect men by default to jump to save them, and it's shocking that a man wouldn't.
And speaking of that, there's instances where the woman starts to fight with the dude, and then when the dude defends himself, she wants to have everybody jump him.
She wants to try
Oh.
to play the victim when she's the one that started it, and the guy.
But that's not real quality. You pick your fights, you gotta fight it. You know?
Yeah, but they don't want real equality.
Yep.
No, they really don't.
It's just word games, gentlemen. That's all it is.
They want that equity and superiority. They don't want equality. Took a long time for me to comprehend that statement. Like, do you honestly think that they want to be truly equal to men?
No.
The vast majority of them, no. Maybe some of them.
Because real freedom means you get like freedom of consequences from your decisions, and women some of them rarely can handle the consequences of their actions. You know.
Yes. I definitely know. Rishi, do you have anything to say about that?
I think I've already said it.
Oh, all right. Fish got nukes?
I just maybe to answer your question that you asked earlier when I wasn't on there. Why do they keep coming around? I think they just perplexed by us. Like, oh, wait a minute, he doesn't want my puniti. I must figure this out. Why? He must have something wrong with this man. Like, that's all I got.
Yeah, that's a big thing. A man's happiness. That's a big, big thing that women cannot stand. That a man is easily able to be happy without a woman around. Especially your woman. If she was in your house. A man is literally content with being alone or being with a couple of the boys and have way more fun than when he's with her. And they get mad jealous. Hell, they get jealous over inanimate objects. Like the objects aren't even alive, and I've seen women get jealous over the objects, such
Get
as
in-
what?
I was going to say they get envious over sex dolls. I remember Chronic's video about that, doing the reaction video to the, I believe it was a Reddit post, maybe, or some kind of news article. Basically, the woman was refusing to have sex with her husband, so instead of getting all mad or doing anything like that, he just like, okay, and he just bought a sex doll, and she got all jealous and upset about it. It's like, well, you're not going to put out, so I'm going to find I don't want to cheat on you, so I'm just going to find a more morally okay method of having, in terms of an outlet for my sexual urges.
I could respect that. He's not cheating on her, but he's getting a sex doll. Like,
Well,
I
she
mean-
gets jealous over a PS5.
right,
She gets jealous over sports.
an inanimate object. Imagine being jealous of that.
That's that woman's mind. It's so fucking confusing. Like, you want to do your own thing as Miss Independent, but when you hear laughter from your man in the living room, all of a sudden it's a big issue. You need to get his attention, even though he's telling you to fuck off.
You're assuming they mean what they say.
Nope, they never do. I always say that never believe what they say, watch their actions. Always watch their actions. And if they do say anything, if you believe that is suspicious, always verify.
That's the thing with, like, they say that they want independence, but they don't. They want people to think they're independent. They want people to fight for them. They want the challenge.
They want the good shit of being independent.
Yeah, they don't want real freedom, which real freedom, in my opinion, involves being able to accept. Real freedom is accepting the good and the bad, warts and all. That's what it really comes down to. But as we can see, whenever the big bad consequences come around, they come calling, then they want to get upset, and then they want to be mad and sad and all those negative emotions and just act like it's so unfair. It's like, no, this is what real freedom is. That's what real freedom is. Just because you have the freedom to choose doesn't mean you're free from the consequences of your choice. And, well, we all know that they don't like that.
Exactly, and I'm going to be ending this stream in 15 minutes because I have to go to bed early today. So just put it out there, y'all.
Okay.
All right.
Don't be confused, chat. Oh, why is it this early? I'm letting you know right now. So when it comes to the penis envy that women have, right? That's the direct result of feminism, right? Because I'm sure they had it long before, long before. But feminism is the kickstart of having outright envy, and they're boastful about it.
I feel like it could have been subtle, something inferior. Most women would have felt like they had it, but what they could have realized that they had other abilities that men didn't have, and they would be content in that. But now, women are told that they're just like men, and because they've been told that from a young age, and feminism has pointed that out so much, that when they look at men and they see that they're not the same, and everything they've been told is a lie, but they don't want to accept that as a lie, they find the only thing that is not according to the ideas, and that's men. So they believe that men are wrong or they're evil or there's something wrong with them. So that's why I believe that penis envy was probably always around, but it didn't become what it is now. It mutated because of feminism into something toxic.
I agree, man. I agree. And when it comes to this feminist BS, right? Like I mentioned earlier, the slut walk. Can't believe that Amber Rose and what's her? I forgot who the other chick was, but Amber Rose thought it was a great idea to do that. It backfired horribly on her. Yancy thought that would look good to a man, seeing a bunch of women bragging about being a slut.
Well, the slut war's not even new. It's an old idea, like thousands of years old. It's been throughout history. It just hasn't been called a slut walk. Like,
I've never seen women before, heard of the women marching down the street proclaiming they're a slut and proud.
Well, not sluts, but they would openly be like that in different places throughout history. If you look at it, like anytime a civilization gets to a certain point where it's about to collapse, that happens. Or it's like a time where it's really unstable and the foundations are not good. That always happens. A lot of degeneracy just starts to bloom out, and I guess because feminism is more dominant now, that slut wars are happening. But yeah, in the past, similar aspects have popped up.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. Ratchet, what about you?
I'm just looking up, I just Bing searched Amber Rose slut walk, these images, bro. It's just what the fuck?
Yeah, it's insane.
Because I didn't even, yeah, it is insane. My pussy, my choice. Okay, but I don't know. What? This is a whole walk, a whole parade of just females just saying they're a slut and stuff like that.
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
sometimes they were naked, sometimes they weren't. It really depends.
My God.
Which time and which.
They're essentially trying to normalize what they know to be degenerative behavior to increase the amount of societal protection that they have.
Well, that's the game plan for anything that's not morally correct. You're trying to normalize it, anything.
Yep.
like abortion, like polygamy, whoring around, like Will Smith's wife, like, oh, we have an open relationship, you know, but it's only
Jada
open
Pinkett
for you,
Smith.
you know, like,
I
you
think
know
they're
what I
both.
mean? Like,
I'm not sure they both have an open relationship, but I definitely know Will cares
I'm,
more for her than she does for him.
yeah, I know, I'm pretty sure it leans more toward, like, she's just, like, sleeping around that chick. Like, I'm pretty sure Will does it, but, like, it's, like, the scales are heavy on her side. Like, you know, like, we only see her partners out in the news. We don't see anything from, like, Will Smith's end. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Well,
I agree.
when the guy does find success outside the relationship, oh, they get so pissed.
Oh yeah, they get
Right.
mad. Like, why haven't you committed to somebody yet? Why aren't you settled down and having a family yet? It's like, well, because I'm doing my thing, and then they don't like that.
You're not supposed to be doing your thing. You're supposed to produce and die.
That's another thing I don't like, you know, like you could be a guy, and like you could like just not say anything, like be like big on like the woman hating or like anything like that. Just do your own thing. Don't open your mouth at all. And, like you will have people coming after your neck. Like that guy would not say anything like negative. Would be like somewhat positive and like just be his own, do his own thing, and like people will come after him. You know?
Yeah, I know what I think I kind of get what you're saying. Um, as far as it goes with the penis envy, I would definitely say I think a big part of it is the whole they think the grass is greener on the other side if they're a man. You know, they think that being a man is just going to miraculously just solve a bunch of their problems, and that
Well,
is
that's
just not true at
well, they
all.
don't even see non-Chad as human to begin with.
Yep,
Like
that
they
is.
think that they're gonna become men and they'll immediately be like the Chads that they dream of. It's like, no, you are going to be at best an average man, and you don't consider average men to be humans.
Yep,
Okay.
I can see that.
They kind of see us as just like a wallet or a utility most of the time.
Well, no, that's the thing. Here's the thing. That like, just as objects, they don't see as a person who is a wallet. It's
Right. Yeah. I kind of see what you're saying.
like they can't comprehend. They can't comprehend that someone wouldn't want to listen to their problems if they were a man.
Right.
Nope.
Yep.
That's
Yeah,
what I
that's
was saying.
exactly it.
Never go to a woman with your problems. She can't handle it. She doesn't know how it is to be a man. So why trust her with your information?
Plus, they see that as like weakness. You know,
Yep.
like most of the time they see that as weakness, and they're like they would just probably want to get away from that. Or I don't know, maybe like in like instances that happens, like you know.
Okay. So we're gonna start wrapping things up right now. This is the shortest live stream I had to do, but I had to get on here to talk about this. Hey, who knows? There'll be a part 2, and I'm not tired. Ratchet,
What's up?
what do you have to say to the Warband about this topic or anything else?
We'll have to say to the warband, you know, like just don't pay no mind to it, you know, unless it comes after like your livelihood. You know what I mean? Like your work, your career. Like just don't pay no mind to it. Just worry about yourself and just keep moving on, you know?
Yes, I agree 100%. There won't be a stream tomorrow, but in a few days, I'm gonna start continue streaming again. But thank you for joining, man, and see you later. Puniti.
Puniti.
Let's go. Carry on. You're next. What do you have to say to the Warband?
I think I already said everything I can say, so that's it, really.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah.
I will schedule my next live stream today, so you guys aren't like guessing. But I will be out of commission for a few days. Thank you for joining Carry On, and I will definitely see you later, Puniti.
Yeah. Puniti. Bye.
That fish, not that fish. The fish got nukes. What do you have to say to the warband?
I know I'm stealing this line, but I'm just gonna say to the warband, if you're going through something, just keep on swimming, and that's all you can do. And that's Fish's advice.
Just keep swimming. Just keep. Okay. Very great advice, man. Very good. Thank you for joining this live stream. I know I'm cutting it like way short, but I gotta catch these Z's for tomorrow.
It's cool, man. Handle your business.
All right,
Pleasure.
man.
Come on.
Okay, Puniti.
Oh, you do.
Constantine, you next. What do you want to say to the warband?
Well, just to kind of expand on what Yeetus was saying about the men not really having a wall hitting in terms of hitting the wall, I would definitely say that one thing to remember when you're going through stuff and you're going through some difficulties in life, it just really helps to remember that a lot of it is going to be temporary. You're just going to have to push through it, and eventually there will be brighter days ahead of you at the end of the ordeal that you're going through. I know definitely whenever I first discovered the manosphere, I was I was going through some shitty stuff, but eventually quite a bit of it worked itself out. I began to understand women better because of the manosphere and people like Chronic and Think Before You Sleep and others. And then I was able to finally try to start off a career I wanted to try to start off. And, eventually, in a little bit, I'll be moving into my own place since my roommate moved away a few weeks ago. So there is definitely going to be challenges out there in life. You're going to go through some hardship, and what you have to really remember is, like we've been saying, you just got to sometimes keep your head to the grind, down at the old grindstone, and push through. Sometimes that is what it's going to take in life. Is just you just got to keep moving forward and get back up and keep going when you get knocked down.
I agree with your advice, man. 1,000,000%. I definitely agree. The fact that they shouldn't let life dictate their future. Okay, if it's something you're in control, you need to control that. With your discipline or whatever, because that's the only thing you can do. That's the best thing you can do, is to monitor the things that you can control, not things that are out of your control.
Yes, I would definitely say that is one thing that is very helpful to learn as a man is learning what you can control and what you can't, and having the knowledge and wisdom and awareness to be able to tell the difference between those two things. And I would also say that it definitely helps to remember that failure is not always a big, bad, horrible thing. Sometimes it simply um, teaches us how failure can be a very effective teacher. It can most definitely be an effective teacher, and sometimes it's the best way for us to learn in certain cases, whatever the situation may be. So I would definitely say don't be afraid to fail. I remember when I was a younger guy, I definitely had that mindset. That was one of the things I was afraid of a lot. But
Right.
then once you go through it, once you fail for the first time or whatever, you get used to it and you realize it ain't so bad. I know that that's definitely one thing that a lot of people out there, especially in a culture where people in school, public school especially, are essentially just passed through school, and it's real easy. They get out in the real world and they don't know what real failure is. They've never had to really work for stuff. They never had to put in a lot of effort for things up until that point, and then they're all just in a funk, like, why is this happening to me? Why is this so hard? Because a lot of a good deal of people growing up this is especially common for people that grew up in school, and school was easy for them, and then they get out in the real world and they're struggling, and they wonder what the hell's going on.
Okay.
So I would definitely say, just remember, failure is not always some big bad thing. Sometimes it is a very helpful teacher, and you just need to learn from your mistakes, and that's really Something you should really cherish and value is being given an opportunity to try to learn from your mistakes so you can grow and do better the next time. That's a really that's a healthier way to view failure than just seeing it as some big bad thing. Anyhow, that's all I can think of. I know you got to get to bed for your rest,
Yes.
so I'll just leave it at that.
No problem, man. You gave us some very good advice. Definitely come back on in a few days, and I will see you later. Once again, I'll schedule the live stream tonight. Puniti.
Punyiti.
All right, Gray, you're the last one. Do you have anything to say to the Warband?
Yeah. More on the subject of envy in general. I found it useful if you see something in somebody else that you want to emulate or imitate or get better at. It's useful to feel jealous and acknowledge someone as having something that you don't. But at the same time, embrace the phrase, it is what it is. There's many things in life you won't be able to change.
I love that phrase.
And focusing on those things rather than the stuff you can change, it wastes your precious time and your precious energy.
Yep. Don't focus on things you can't control. That's just like what he said just now is literally a waste of time. You'll literally be exhausted for no fucking reason because you can't change. You can't change the situation. But great advice. Once again, thank you for joining.
And
I'll definitely be on in a few days.
Yeah, well, definitely rest up, man. You've been going ham at this for a while, and you can't have you burning out even though you're on fire.
Right. I've been killing it lately, but I would definitely take that into consideration. That's why I'm gonna have more plans of going back and forth when it comes to content, because at this rate, I'm about to run out of ideas. Thank you, Gray, for joining, and we definitely will talk in a few days. Puniti.
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 All right, Rishi, do you have anything to say about this quick live stream? This is probably our quickest live stream.
Say true. Yeah. Well, I guess I'd say, gentlemen, is they do resent us for the fact, at least maybe not individually, sometimes individually, but they do resent men as a whole for them needing us. When they do need us, they don't appreciate us.
Exactly. They just expect you to put your life on the line and do all this hard work for her just to get a little shrug and not even give you any type of appreciation. It's crazy. But all right, Rishi. This was a good stream, pretty quick stream. I was gonna go longer, but I forgot I have like a shit ton of things to do tomorrow. But this is Sir Yeetus and Rishi. Hopefully you guys got your daily dose of red pills. This is pretty much a quick summary of how women in general, they hate men because they know deep down they need us to survive. I am out. We are out. And
cheers, my Buddhas.
oh goddamn, a motherfucking turkey. Oh my god.